All right, this is Jason Padgett here with Marc Haddle, co-founder of DataSolids, and I was just talking to Marc. Marc, I'm going to tell you how this podcast came to be, the true story, right? So I work for a small healthcare company. I'm a no-code chief AI officer. We've been looking at implementing AI piecemeal. And earlier this year, our CEO came to me, and I was wanting to add a couple more co-pilot seats so that we wouldn't have too much shadow AI use, right? And at the time, I understood context engineering. So I understood that you cannot just prompt engineer your way through things. You have to give the model the right context, which is data related, in order to get the right answer. Sometimes it's like they are answering based on where their training data ended. So you may ask it a question and it thinks it's 2025 when it's 2026. So you have to make sure that it has the right context of what today is. But I had no idea how deep all this went until I started to look into. I was thinking about, okay, if you're going to have agentic AI in healthcare and it's actually going to be making decisions and everything, like essentially you've got to you've got to have all your data in a secure cloud environment, right? Like a Snowflake or a Databricks, which is expensive as hell, right? Databricks really organizes it. Snowflake has it in a lake where it's all unstructured, and then they use AI to mine it and structure it. But to my understanding through this, AI is only about 40 to 60% effective at that currently, at cleaning up just a complete mess of data. So then you have to pipeline all the data from your third-party software, like your EHR and stuff, which is a huge task, right? And so that it is in the side of this environment. And then you have to operate everything inside there so that there aren't any changes to these large language models. Like you would have to take an open source model, pay a software engineer and some data engineers to structure that cloud, fine tune that thing on your data. And then you'd have something that's operational about $250,000 later. You would have something operational even in a small business. And if you go with like a Google Cloud, they have their landing, which has ETL. So it extracts, cleans up, and loads all your data from your third-party software. That's only $60,000 a year, which, is completely feasible for a small cut. Like all that to be successful and compliant with AI, I had no idea.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, not only that, but I mean, and that's before you even get back to the data hygiene and stuff, because you don't want the garbage in and garbage out. And the problem is so much health data, from just a data science perspective, I mean, at once extracted from whatever source, it's largely garbagey. That's why you've got to spend a lot of time, on the hygiene aspect of it, because it really is. I mean, it's rough, which is why, healthcare, is kind of going several locksteps behind, other industries and other domains, because, a lot of people may think it's really cool, but when you start talking about something close to home, like, like health data, people are like, there's a lot of stuff I will let slide, but when it comes to my medical records, no. And a lot of them are now, kind of nervous because they have, heard about these rather high profile data breaches that have, happened, within the past 2 to 3 years and stuff, that have been largely systemic, that have exposed millions of patient records out there. And people are like, you know what? People have my own body data out there, and I trust you to secure this for me. And you're not doing a really good job. And you can look at it from the health systems standpoint, which is security is overhead, it's not revenue. So we're not going to be prioritizing it as much, and we can't really keep up with the current state because it's just way too expensive to secure all of this health data. Meanwhile, health data is so coveted by so many other people that want to traffic in data because it's so difficult to get to. And and how can you actually get it ethically and legally? Largely, you can't unless you give it from the people that can give it to you, like a patient. And so the only other solution is have people steal it in the dark of night. And people are like, I have no way to participate in this. And I'm like, and you have some strong feelings, I can tell, but there's nothing you can do but watch it all happen, because your stuff is residing on someone else's infrastructure. And They have control of it. Yes, you have ownership. Much good may it do you, but it's it is out there, and you can't unring that bell. And when you have people that are saying, "Is my health data being used to make decisions about aspects of my life?" That because they have data that they should not have because they got it through, uh, you know, uh, 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 bad means, and stuff. And so, yeah, and people are like, I don't like any of this because I have no control. And I'm like, bingo. It's because you do not have control of it. And that's what we want to change, particularly when it comes to your health data. But this solution could be used to any other type of data. It's just right now when you're dealing with health records, particularly where people want to have possession of them, um, people that are dealing with like cancer, rare disease, or recovering from brain or spinal injury, they have these extended care journeys and they have to go see multiple specialists and clinicians, and their data doesn't follow them. And what happens when you go see a specialist that's on a different EHR platform than someone upstream or your primary care physician and stuff? They've got to, ahead of your appointment, exchange that data. And right now, that data's not flowing very easily, even with all of the mandates and the better bridges between these silos and these health information exchanges. It should work, just it hasn't quite precipitated down to the real-time delivery layer, and that's
Well,
something that they're
I'm glad we have people like you at the table. And I mean, people need to check out DataSolids. I really appreciate you coming on the show today, Mark. And I'm going to put all of your links in all of our show notes. If people want to get a hold of you, is LinkedIn the best place to do it?
yeah,
Yeah,
generally. Or it's also mark.haddle at datasolids.com.
there you go. Boom. Thank you.